My name is Clarence Oliver, and I used to be a fat loser. Now, I'm still a little fat, but I'm no longer a loser. You see, growing up, I had all these stories. All these stories from everyone else who told me that I was going to be pathetic, or I am pathetic, or that I was a failure, that I did this, and that I had this, and that I was just a cow. Yeah. Every time I was around people, especially when I was in school, they all seemed to have a negative image of what my life was like and what my life would be like. Oh, you have no willpower. Oh, you have no control. You're going to be nothing. What's wrong with you? And time and again, that's all I kept hearing. Time and again, that's all I began to believe. I was the fat loser. I had to be. I wasn't denying it. I wasn't around telling people, no, I might be fat, but I'm not a loser. No. I couldn't deny it. I began to incarnate and live that story. The story that everyone else had to tell. The story that began to just become my story. I didn't have my own personal story. I didn't know how to tell my own personal story. I didn't know how to create for myself an image, a vision of what my life should be like, or what I wanted my life to be like. No. I didn't have that ability. Not yet. Not at that time. No, growing up, I was obese from the age of 5. I suffered from chronic chest pain. I went to every doctor imaginable, and it didn't seem to help. I had asthma. I couldn't hang out and play with kids like the rest of my peers were doing. You know, a game of basketball could nearly kill me. And I was just constantly struggling and trying every year a new diet again and again and again, going to nutritionists, doctors, a witch doctor, yes, a witch doctor, and being put on vitamin after vitamin, being checked for thyroid conditions and every other sort of problem that might cause my weight. And nothing seemed to be coming up. No. It was a lack of willpower, a lack of sports, a lack of activity, a lack. Again, you're just not doing it. Your fault. You're failing. And I began to take that. Oh, it's my problem. I'm just a failure. I just can't do it. I can't succeed. I'm just a fat loser. Now, you might be wondering right now, while this all sounds compelling, what does this have to do with the willpower? What does this have to do with achieving success? What does this have to do with becoming and achieving everything that I want to have in my life, that I want to have in this company, that I want to have in the world? Or you might begin to see where it's all coming to. But as I kept growing up, as I kept aging, I kept getting bigger. At 14, I weighed 250 pounds. By the age of 18, I went on a vegetarian diet, jogging 2 miles a day, and drinking only water. And I looked on the scale after that 6 months. After not getting on the scale, after hoping, after knowing and thinking that, yes, this is going to be it. I finally did it. I finally got the willpower. I finally got the effort. I'm not a failure. I'm not a loser. I got on the scale, and staring back at me was 347 pounds. It glared at me in the way that a scale can glare at you, with contempt, in that I told you were going to fail. I was sad. I was distraught. I was depressed. I was miserable. And then, as I kept looking at that number, as I got off the scale, got back on the scale, I got angry. It wasn't right. It wasn't right. No, I needed to achieve. I had the ability to achieve. I deserved success. And I wasn't going to let my failure get in the way of my success. No. I had to achieve. And you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at how fast you can succeed when you accept nothing but success. And I went up and I began to learn everything. And I began to ignore all the voices. My father, who said, you're just a big guy, Maybe you're just supposed to be big. My grandmother boy, I'll tell you what. I know a pastor, right? And you remind me just of, he was a big man all his life too. Everyone, you won't look good if you thin out. You look good right now. Don't lose weight. You'll look bad. You looked anorexic when you lost that 20 pounds that first time. Again and again, it was all these stories, all these words just filling into my head. And then I said, no, I tell my story. I tell what I want. I create my own destiny. And I began to read 200 books, thousands of articles. I learned more about adipose tissue than anyone who's not studying fat tissue for a living should probably ever learn. But it all began to pay off. It all began to work. Slowly the pounds began to melt away, 10, 20, 40, and people began to look at me, wow, you're really thinning out there. 60, 70, 80. I was succeeding. And when I was succeeding, it occurred to me, there's a lot of other things that I could be doing with my life. There's a lot of other things that I should be doing with my life that I haven't because I was the fat loser. I had a story in my mind that everything I did failed. Everything I wanted failed. And so I stopped wanting. And with that, I stopped succeeding. But now I knew that I could achieve. That I could get what I want. And I began to study how I did it. I began to look back on everything I did to get to that point so that I could do it again for other things that I wanted in my life, for that social life that I wanted, for that job that I wanted, for the businesses that I wanted to start creating for myself. And I distilled it into four basic principles. 4 principles that we're going to go through in this hour that are going to completely allow you the ability to achieve anything and everything that you want in any environment. You see, now the first thing that I learned was that it's not about goals. Everybody talks about, this is how you got to do it. You got to achieve your goals, the perfect goal, the system to achieve your goals. Goal Achievement 101. Write it down and look at it every day. And that has a little merit, but it's not going to get you there. You see, what really achieves success is a vision. Having that pure and wonderful vision for the future, where you can look out into the horizon, past the mist, past the haze, and see that glorious new opportunity. See that glorious new future that you want for yourself. Without vision, without the ability to see clearly what you want, it becomes an upward battle. Traveling uphill, up a mountain, with backpack after backpack, with weight after weight being added onto it after every climb you get to. Without that vision, a goal is worthless. Next, you need to have the ability to take action. You need to become action-oriented. You know, procrastination has stopped more people from succeeding and more people from failing. And that's the horrible part. You see, if you're going to not succeed, at least usually you'll fail. But if you don't even try, if you procrastinate, put it off and put it off and put it off, you don't even get the failure, which means you don't even get to learn what to do next time. Learning to become action-oriented, to take a step every day toward your goal, is about figuring out how to do the little things. Simple things that will allow you to immediately and always take action when the opportunity is there. To take action, to start creating the opportunities that you want. But you have to learn to start taking those steps. And I'll explain to you the little basic and easy steps that you can begin to take so that you can naturally, easily activate and completely have yourself in an action orientation so that you can achieve your goals. The next step is to have passion. You have to have passion. If you don't have your passion, if you don't have the ability to truly want and desire your outcome, if you don't have the ability inside you, if it's not there, if you don't have it aligned with what is the most important to you, then you're always rowing a boat upstream, and it's going to be a struggle. It's not even going to be worth it, because even if you achieve it, it's not going to bring you anything. Because without passion, without direction, without the purpose behind it, you're going to become disillusioned very easily. You're going to watch yourself slowly begin to procrastinate. Because no matter how much you might want something, if it's not aligned with your passion, with what's truly important to you, wants become something you can put off. When it's something you need, when it becomes a must, when it becomes something that you no longer will accept otherwise, then procrastination and success are yours. You'll end your procrastination and the success becomes yours. Action becomes your only outcome. Finally, you need to have emotional control. This is the most important thing, really, because if you don't have the ability to control your state, if you allow yourself at the moment setback to go, okay, forget it, to become discouraged, to become disheartened, disillusioned after even the smallest of setbacks, then you're going to enter into another stage of procrastination. You're going to enter into another stage of pause. You're going to question your passion and your purpose. When you can control your emotions, when you can identify and move forward even in the face of big mistakes, then success, then everything, then anything you want becomes yours. Because when you have that control, when you have that ability to stand up and in the face of complete tragedy, say, what can I do to make it better, stronger, greater? When you can ask yourself the right questions, instead of asking yourself, how can I stop the bleeding? You ask, how can I get better and get it going? You'll find yourself always able to keep pushing forward, always able to keep recovering, never left with the difficulty of looking around and unable to figure out what it is that you can do. Because when you are able to control yourself, you're able to control the way you look at things. And when you can control the way you look at things, even the worst situation has a silver lining. When you align yourself with these four principles that I'm going to go through piece by piece so that you understand fully how to achieve them, how to get them, and how to use them in your life, you will have the ability to achieve everything that you want, to sell more, to be more, to get what you want out of your life, what you deserve out of your life. It begins with a vision. And that is the most important thing.